For I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said to the people long ago, 'You shall not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment.' But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to a brother or sister, 'Raca,' is answerable to the court. And anyone who says, 'You fool,' will be in danger of the fire of hell. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to them. Then come and offer your gift. Settle matters quickly with your adversary who is taking you to court. Do it while you are still together on the way, or your adversary may hand you over to the judge, and the judge may hand you over to the officer, and you may be thrown into prison. Truly, I tell you, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny.
Jesus says, "Unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven." How is that possible? After all, the Pharisees were known for their meticulous observance of the law. Does Jesus demand that we follow even more rules and regulations? Absolutely not. Isn't it absurd to think that one can meticulously follow every law, yet still be far from the kingdom of heaven? This is exactly the situation Jesus wants to make us aware of. Insincere observance of rules is like building a house without foundations. Sure, one might say, "But I go to church, I pray, I follow the commandments." Yet Jesus responds, "Do you have love in your heart? Have you forgiven your brother? Have you reconciled with those you are in conflict with?" Let's consider how often we offer sacrifices to God with hearts full of resentment and anger. Imagine bringing a gift to the altar and suddenly remembering that someone has something against you, or you harbor bad feelings towards someone. Jesus says, leave your gift there before the altar and first go and be reconciled with your brother. It's as if he's saying, your gift is worthless if your heart is full of anger and hatred. This is the paradox of God's justice. God doesn't just want our sacrifices and rituals. God wants our hearts. Isn't this a radical message? In some countries, the church, fearing the loss of faithful, significantly lowers the standards of commitment. Thus, we can easily meet the requirements of the law, but our hearts must be filled with love and mercy. Jesus uses strong words. Anyone who is angry with their brother will be subject to judgment. It's not just murder that's wrong, but also the anger that contaminates our hearts. True righteousness begins in the heart. Does our daily behavior reflect the love we preach? Are our hearts pure, or do they harbor resentment and hatred? Let's recall the parable of the Good Samaritan from the 10th chapter of Luke's Gospel. The priest and Levite passed by the beaten man because they were following the law that said not to touch the unclean. The Samaritan, considered inferior, showed mercy, and he is the model of true righteousness. The Apostle John in the 4th chapter of his first letter reminds us that whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar. This is the essence of God's law, love. Love that forgives, holds no grudges, and seeks reconciliation. Will we dare to accept this challenge? Do we truly believe that love is greater than all the rules and commandments? Jesus calls us to something more than fidelity to the letter of the law. He calls us to transform our hearts. Therefore, I encourage you to look boldly within yourselves. Is there love? Is there a readiness to forgive? Let our lives be a testimony of love that transcends all boundaries and transforms hearts. May God bless us all.